Oh boy, just when we thought Pokemon may actually slow down for a little bit, they decided to drop this on us. We officially got our first look at Delta Rain, and guess what? Rayquaza's back in the picture. And honestly, this was the smartest move Pokemon could do, and I totally get why they did it. Because anytime you have a set that features Rayquaza, collectors start to pay attention. But today, I don't want to just make a video saying, hey, new set announced. Everyone get excited, because there's actually a bigger conversation we can have here. Like, one, why is Rayquaza creating this kind of reaction? And how is Pokemon going to continue to keep collectors excited? And with all the hype around every major release lately, are we getting to a point where our expectations are almost impossible for Pokemon to meet? Let's talk about it. Now, before we get into it, let me introduce myself. My name is John. I'm the owner of Jed's Card Shop. We're an online hobby and TCG business where we talk about Pokemon collecting, and also we're documenting a journey of building a card shop from the ground up. And today we're talking about something I think is really important for the hobby, because this is going to be a little bit bigger than just one set. So, why does Rayquaza just hit different? When Pokemon Company reveals certain Pokemon are going to be featured, the reactions are across the board. Because let's be honest, not every Pokemon announcement creates the same level of hype. Look at Perfect Order, for example. And that's not saying other Pokemon aren't great. Everyone has their favorites. But there are a handful of Pokemon that the Pokemon Company knows will immediately get collectors talking, like Charizard, the Evolutions, Pikachu, Mewtwo, Mew, and Rayquaza. These Pokemon have built a legacy. When you look back through the history of Pokemon, Rayquaza has been attached to some of the most incredible cards. And that's why collectors immediately started wondering, what is this chase card going to look like? What artwork are we going to get? And is this going to be the next card everyone starts talking about? Because Pokemon has shown us when they give us these popular Pokemon with the right artwork, the collectors are always going to respond positively. And why does these cards actually matter? And this is where I think sometimes the conversation around Pokemon becomes a little backwards. Because a lot of times people want to start with the price. How much is this card worth? What's the PSA 10 going to sell for? And is this set one that I should invest in or not? And don't get me wrong, those conversations are all fun, meaningful, and needed. But I mean, I run a card business. Obviously, the market side matters to me. But the market exists because a collector cares about it first. And the reason a Rayquaza card can become valuable is because thousands of people are going to look at that card and say, you know what, I want that in my collection. And that connection comes way before a price tag does. Because right now we see Pokemon, they're leaning into what is proven to work. I think Pokemon has been very aware of what is getting collectors excited. Look at some of the conversations that are happening inside the hobby right now. You have the evolutions with Prismatic. You have the Team Rocket nostalgia set. You had the best Charizard we ever seen. And now they're dropping Rayquaza. These are things that will immediately get people's attention. And honestly, I can't blame Pokemon for doing it. If you have characters people have loved for years, why wouldn't you give those Pokemon moments? Now, there is a cautionary tale here. And this is where I think we need to have the other side of the conversation. Because the hype cycle in Pokemon right now is truly insane. A set gets announced, and before we see any of the cards, people are already asking the question, is this going to be the next big thing? Is this going to be the next Evolving Sky? Should I be buying it? Is this going to go crazy? And I think sometimes we just need to slow down for a second, because Rayquaza being involved makes everyone excited. But Rayquaza alone does not automatically create a legendary set. The artwork on this set will really matter. And the rest of this set is going to matter. But here's the thing that's overlooked. What is the experience of opening this product? because guess what? That matters too. Because years later, people don't just remember the name of the booster boxes, they remember how the set made them feel. Now, my view as someone that's trying to build a TCG business, these moments are really interesting to me because new releases like this brings a lot of energy back into the hobby because honestly, I thought after the 30th we were going to see a massive slowdown. And someone who hasn't opened Pokemon cards in months might see this set and think, you know what? I'm going to have to check this one out. A collector who may have been backing off for a while might actually become active during this. And guess what? Sets like this is going to attract new collectors to the hobby for the very first time. And that's something I think gets overlooked a little too much. Because, yes, selling a product matters. Obviously, I'm a business. But the reason I wanted to build Jed's Card Shop wasn't just to move boxes, it was because I enjoy the hobby and the conversations around it. So, to sort of wrap this up, where do I stand on Delta Rain? I am through the moon. I'm excited. I think bringing Rayquaza back into the spotlight was a smart move by Pokemon. I think there's a lot of potential with this set, but I also want to see what Pokemon decides to do with it. Are they going to give us the incredible artwork? Are they going to give the collectors something memorable? Are they going to create cards people actually want and love, and not just because someone is saying it's valuable? Because those are the cards that actually will last. So you've heard my thoughts on this, but now I want to hear from you. Are you excited about the new set coming out? Do you think Delta Rain could be one of the biggest upcoming Pokemon releases we have seen this year? Or do you think the Pokemon hype is starting to get a little bit ahead of itself? Drop a comment below. And if you enjoy the conversation about Pokemon collecting, or you just want to follow the journey of building a TCG business from the ground up, please consider liking and subscribing. But until the next one, goodbye for now.